It's wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a minute out today.
Thank you so much, Joe. It's a pleasure to meet you, and I'm so excited to share my story with you today.
I am too. So let's begin with 5 years ago. This pandemic was raging, changing our lives. How did you get through it, and how did it change your life?
My God, the pandemic was actually the catalyst for me to start a new journey of my life. I had just turned 50, during that time, and it was a soul awakening that I think I had. I think a lot of people do when they reach the age of 50, where they evaluate their lives. You have lived half a century. And how are you going to live the next half of the century? So it was a turning point in my life. And we had the opportunity to be at home, and there was so much negativity with the noise, with the TV, with people, really panicking. They were panicking about COVID. And I just went into my room. I locked the door, I closed the TV, I turned off the phones, and I took a leather book bound and I started sketching designs. Now, I have never ever done this before in my whole entire life, Joe.
Yeah.
I can tell you, as my life at by 50 had lived a complete life. I had a mother, a big mother. My children are, they're now, my son is 30, my daughter 29. And husband, over 33 years I've been married. I was a piano teacher for over 15 years, classical piano teacher. I was on top of four charities here in Los Angeles. I had done a lot of things, and most importantly, I had done a lot of self-introspective work on myself starting the age of 36. But for heavens on this earth, I never thought that I could actually draw. So I took a leather book bound and I started sketching designs, and it was just like magic. Now, these designs are coming to me in like a heartbeat of a second, and I just loving it. So I started naming the first dress that I designed, the red dress. Then I flipped the page, went to the next one, was the pink dress. And these are long, high style evening dresses. These are very sophisticated, very couture. At that time, I even knew that I'm bringing in a new style. It's Art Deco. And how are these designs coming to me? Well, of course, I can say for the rest of my life, I'm 100% certain I channel these designs. So they come to me in a heartbeat of a second. And at that time, at the age of 50, I was ready to sketch these designs. So one thing is when you have a concept coming into your head, the other is, well, you have to somehow put this on paper and it needs to come out. So these sketches that I'm doing, they're not sophisticated at all. They're very, very simple, 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 but all the information is there. The colors that I chose, the different fabrics that I chose. I knew which one is chiffon, which one is silk four ply, which one is satin. I know. And then where the embellishments are going to the T there or there, the information is there. So it was incredible. And I knew that, I was up to something very interesting. So I continued the journey. So I say it in about 1 month span during COVID, and COVID gave me an opportunity because we didn't have anything else to do, so I was home. Uh, I sketched 50 designs within 1 month span.
Wow.
Now, are these different? They're all different. Not one is the same. And I chose a beautiful theme. It's the theme that I picked is the flower gardens of Singapore, which the colors are bold and bright, and the flowers are very refined. And at that time during COVID, with all the darkness, I thought I'm going to bring light into the world. So the colors of the palettes that I chose for the first collection are bold and bright because we need light in the world. And the embellishments are all Swarovski stones because these stones bring out the inner light of each woman. So it was an amazing experience that I had. And then a month after I sketched all these designs, we didn't have anything else to do. So I started taking apparel entrepreneurship classes online. And that was a 6-week course that I took with Klaus and Hannah in Sweden. And then I got connected about a week later to a brand specialist in Italy, where he said, well, Sima, you've got 50 designs. Whoop-de-doo. What's going to differentiate you with the rest of the world who are making dresses? He says it's your brand. And brand, it's so important
Yeah.
because even at that time, I knew that these dresses were serving a higher mission, a higher purpose. These are coming to me for a reason, that I have a purpose in this life to bring these dresses out and use that to help the world. At that time, I knew. To this day, I'm 100% sure that I know. So we formulated the brand. I took a 6-week course with him on Zoom. We're on COVID, and it was easy for me because it was truthfully my nature, what these dresses stand for. And the mission of my brand, which is Sima Collezione, is to empower the inner light and beauty within each woman. And each sale will help another person in need through the brand's charity. And I was done. Now, why did I use that as a mission? First of all, it's very, very truthful and honestly who I am. I believe in to this day that these dresses serve to enlighten their inner light and inner beauty, not what the outside expects us to be or what all these people have done all these years of, okay, the expectations to be this, to be that. But I'm bringing something new to the table, that we're going to focus on a woman's inner light and beauty. And then charity, I was on top of 4 major charities in Los Angeles during all my life. And so charity is always so, ingrained in my nature. And I knew that this is to help the world. This is a humanitarian project. It's not just about dresses. I'm not here to sell dresses, but I'm here to bring about change. I'm here to bring about purpose. And I even knew at that time. So Joe, after that, I mean, I can tell you that magical doors started opening up for me. Now, in September, I get connected to a publicist, and he loved the mission. And he knows, at 50, I'm not doing this for my name or for money. I mean, this is something that is my life's legacy. And he said, Sima, do you want to be on some, press releases? I said, sure. So he put me on some of these press releases. I put it on my website, got some beautiful pictures of myself in the garden that I took, because I have a beautiful garden, and that was my inspiration for the collection, put it on my website. Then on December of 2020, about 6 months right after I finished sketching these designs and doing all of that work, one of these ladies on Facebook, and they're very lovely ladies, she said, Sima, well, we have seen everything in the fashion world, but we haven't seen your dresses. I said, of course, nobody has seen these because I didn't look at a fashion book. I didn't look at a fashion magazine. I've never gone to fashion school. I've never done anything like this. I am just channeling these through God's grace. I'm just a vessel.
Yeah.
I'm a vessel. I mean, Joe, till the end of the day, I talk about it. I'm just a vessel.
Yeah.
But I know that this is a responsibility that I need to do in this lifetime. So she said, why don't you apply for New York Fashion Week? Now, this is December of 2020, and I had nothing to lose. And I had high visions about this because from the onset of the journey, I would get visions of how this was going to play out. And I said, okay, let's do it. So I applied to flying solo, and I sent in all of my 50 designs. Now it's a pretty risky thing because anybody can copy it and anybody can, but I wasn't afraid because if this is a mission, it's a different level of concept, it's a different level of vibration. Doesn't matter if they want to copy it. I'm honored. Let them copy it. Honestly, what am I going to do? But I did give it to them. And guess what? January of 2021, I'm selected as one of the designers who's going to feature their collection at New York Fashion Week,
Oh,
September of 2021. And guess what, Joe? I don't even have a dress made.
wow.
So it was just an amazing, amazing, magical time during COVID. So in January, I do get connected through some, my friends and networking and my family to a celebrity. She loved the designs, and of course she wanted the designs so that she can wear it and be on top of all of these magazines. So she introduced me to the lady who would make her dresses. So I got connected, and through that, the lady who's going to make the dresses, she and I during COVID, we got connected. Lovely lady, lovely, love her. And even at that time, and today we're very good friends. We were aligned because one thing is to have the vision of how these dresses are supposed to come out, but the person who's doing the dresses, they have to be aligned with your vision as well. They have to kind of see this through, you know what I mean, so that they can create the dresses. So we got connected, and I was supposed to show 8 dresses, New York Fashion Week, flying solo rooftop. I showed 10. And guess what? They asked me to close the show. And I'm going, what is this? I've never done this before. How do you close the show? Well, you're the last designer of the whole entire day.
Wow.
And truthfully, New York Fashion Week was incredible because I had done a lot of things in my life. Mom, wife, teacher, community leader. I sing classical opera, did a lot of traveling, did a lot of introspective work on myself for many, many years. That as I say, I went through the darkest days of my soul from the age of 36 until 50. But nothing compared, nothing in the whole wide world compared to that moment where I walked my walk in New York Fashion Week.
Wow.
It was just surreal. I mean, what can you do? I mean, what just grace of God.
Yeah.
I talk about it. It's just it was divine alignment. And yeah, I was so happy doing that, and that was if I had stopped there, I would have been happy for the rest of my life. But God had other plans for me because it did not stop there. It did not.
So what did you want to be when you were a kid? What was your dream job?
I think I always wanted to do this
Okay.
as a little girl. I always wanted to do this, but somehow, we immigrated to United States with my family. I was at 9, and I talk about it. I didn't have a voice. I always, and then at 9, I am like they put. It's not that they put me, just like. I went to a classical piano training curriculum with a teacher who was actually my neighbor, my parents' neighbor. So, she was like, okay, an easy thing. Well, she's just going to go learn how to play the piano. And my mom and everybody thought, well, it's good. She can learn how to play the piano. But they didn't know the excruciating pain that I went through during my childhood. I don't like to talk too much about it, but now I think I can. A very abusive teacher that I had, emotionally abusive. So it was tough as a young girl. And we just came and, we had to, with the family and, we had to make things work and third child and didn't have a voice to tell my mom, I don't want to do this. I just couldn't. I was just trying to do the right thing. So it took those years of my life, I talk about it. They are the momentum where I truly think I was wired, to be focused, to be aligned, to be a go-getter, because that's what it takes for a classical piano training. You need to be incredibly, incredibly focused and hardworking and I had to play classical music. I had to play, I had to go to recitals. We would have exams and tests. There was one certificate of merit that I had to do. Then I had guild auditions twice a year where we had to go to, let's say, different parts of the state and perform. And, for a 11, 12, 13-year-old girl, it's a lot of pressure to, first of all, memorize, let's say, a Bach partita. My God, Bach partita. Every measure of that Bach partita, right and left, you have different notes going on. It's not one thing is the same. And then you have to do that for 16 pages
Oh,
by memory.
yeah. So who
So,
that's crazy. So who's been the inspiration? Who has been that heroic force in your life that's allowed you to find your dream and to become who you are?
well, it's very easy for me to say that. It's my grandmother.
Yeah.
She was a Holocaust survivor. I might cry because every time I talk about her, it makes me very sensitive. She was a Holocaust survivor, and she lived a life of integrity, grace, and dignity. And she was a warrior. There are many ways you can live your life, and life is not easy and it has challenges, obstacles. She was a warrior,
Yeah.
and she survived the Holocaust. And I truly believe that, all of my life's challenges, ever since I was a little girl, through the piano training. I mean, who does that? Go through so much excruciating uh, pain. I mean, I did. And then 17, I go to college and everybody finishes with 4 years. I finished with 3 years. And then at 20, 21, you get married. Well, that's what the culture, and that's how it was at that time.
Yeah.
So I was courting my husband, and just like 4 or 5 months, you get married, and then they say, well, now you have to make your life work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't want to break any, you don't want to break any. I didn't want to break any of the expectations, and I didn't want people, didn't say anything, quiet, and lived my life. And it was not easy.
So at this point in your life, everyone has a perception. Family, friends, everyone that knows your fashion side, everyone around you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Oh my God. Well, this is like been an incredible journey. I mean, for the past, well, first of all, my life was an incredible journey ever since until 50, because I truly believe everything that happened to me, even from that piano teacher that I was telling you, all of that was the stepping stones for me to come and become who I truthfully am. And I always talk about the darkest days of my soul, which was from the year when I was 36 until 50, where I truthfully, a friend of mine passes away, and I truthfully feel and believe that I'm going to die, because through my whole entire life, didn't have a voice, didn't have the strength to stand up for myself. I'm just going through life's motions, trying to please people and trying to do the right thing. But it was the fear of death that brought me into therapy at the age of 36, where I went back and, did a lot of that work, and then put me, the therapy then put me on a life's journey and a life of figuring out who I am. And I did Bikram yoga. If anybody knows Bikram yoga, it's like the best. I mean, because that is the kind of change that truthfully comes because it's coming from within. You are changing the energies, you're clearing your I mean, I did a lot of that stuff, meditation, yoga, you name it. Truthfully, a lot of people go and do these classes and they say, oh, they have changed. No, you don't change until you feel the pain. You have to walk on fire. And I did. Not easy. Not easy at all. And processing all of your issues. Well, of course, I had help. You have life coaches, your therapy. Oh my God. And nobody in my community knew what I was going through, because I've got this demeanor of, okay, she's having a beautiful life, her husband, her kids, going to parties, going to events, traveling, doing this, doing that. But the amount of pain and pressure that I had behind my back for about 15 years, it would not rest. It was a lot of pressure that I went through. But it all culminated at 50, where I knew that all of that had to have a purpose, and it did. And it was bringing out Sima Collezione. Now, these dresses, Joe, these are not ordinary dresses. These have tapped in from nature, from divinity. If you see some of them, and the ones that recently I'm working on, they have spiritual geometry in them. There is a narrative in them. There is a story that's coming out. This is different than what everybody else is doing. And so I was talking to another, I said, I'm going to be the lady who's going to disrupt all of that. And I'm going to be the one and stand by my brand of really bringing out the inner light and beauty within each woman. We're going to finish all that. We've suffocated all of that, now. And these dresses truthfully do, because as I told you, I'm not here to make things work. These dresses are just channeling to me in a heartbeat of a second. Sometimes I have to stop it because before I go to sleep, sometimes these designs come so much in my head, I have to like, okay, give me a break. So they're there all the time. And that confident. Anybody wants it, I'll sketch a dress for you in a heartbeat of a second.
This has been such a wonderful story. So I'm curious.
Sure.
I want people to dive into this more. How can they view the collection? How can they reach out to you? Any of the good business, where can they go?
Sure. So what has been happening is that a lot of things happened ever since 5 years. I after New York Fashion Week, I went to Milan. I went 3 times to Paris Fashion Week. I had a hell of a time. I went through all of it and I got top international fashion press. And the other thing was, well, how are you going to bring these dresses about? Are you going to bring these dresses about with who? You know, people that want you for opportunists who want to make tons of money from you? No, I'm not a puppet. And has a higher mission and a higher purpose. So I had to keep the integrity of the dresses. I would not give it to influencers or movie stars, even though I was in Los Angeles Fashion Week twice with top people. So it took me a transformation and evolvement and sticking truthfully to myself and my brand. So now it's in the hands of the Italians.
Yeah.
So I have a beautiful showroom in Milan at the historical building Via Statuto Otto in Milan. It's beautiful. And so now I have collaborated with a team in Italy. God willing, these things take time. And as I said, I'm not here to chase. I'm here to align with the right people. So it doesn't matter. It might take some time here or there, but the momentum is to launch the brand in Europe 2026. January 20th of 2026. It's going to start in Europe.
Okay.
But I'm here to speak about it because
Yeah.
now after all those 5 years, you are, I think, my third or fourth podcast. Now I'm ready. My throat chakra is ready to speak. I
I
couldn't
love
even.
it. I
Yeah.
love it. This has been what a wonderful story. I'm going to put all of this in the show notes. Sima, this has been so great to meet you. Thank you so much. Best of luck on the launch. I have no doubt that it's going to change
You, Joe. It was just such a
lives.
pleasure meeting you. Just keep in touch with me. I think through Podmatch.